Confusing. A little bit confusing. Shit, I need a haircut.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Greetings, fellow humans. It's me, that one guy you don't like. I know this video is released after a long time. I know I haven't been doing videos, but believe me, I've tried doing videos. Because when the Resident Evil 2 trailer and the new Halloween trailer was released, I was going to do a react video. I shot them, I edited them, but the software I have will not let me save them to my computer, nor publish them without a watermark. So, fuck you, Filmora. I hate you. So I'm now stuck to using basic Windows software for editing, which is totally okay. But that means no fun reaction videos, no cool picture-in-picture, no fun floaty on images-y, none of that shit. Unless someone wants to give me $80 so I can buy it all, I'd love you. So anyway, now that we know that there's no longer going to be any fun in this video, let's get down to business. But first, before I start this review, I need a little help. Oh my god, this is gonna be fun. Hereditary is the new 2018 June release horror movie directed by Ari Aster, which stars Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, Alex Wolff with 2 Fs, and highly memorable newcomer Millie Shapiro. Now, if you keep up with horror movie news, you probably read how polarizing the reviews and the criticism of this movie are. It's either extremely great or extremely bad. And I will explain why the people who think this movie's extremely bad are fucking stupid. Before I get onto that, let's talk about the movie itself. This movie is extremely unique in its own way. It probably has to be the most unique movie I've seen in decades. Now, if you're expecting to see a horror movie that's just straight up jump scares and blood and guts and monsters and ghosts, that's when you'll be disappointed. Because this isn't just your simple, average, easy to make horror movie. This is deeply psychological, deeply disturbing. You can't really call this a horror movie. It's like an extremely scary tale of grief. And if there's one subject that this movie hits hard, it is definitely grief. Now, if you have recently just lost someone in your life that was very important to you, I don't suggest that you see this. Because holy fucking shit, this movie gets fucking batshit crazy. Now with this, I'm going to try my best not to spoil the movie for you, but just in case something does have to come up, I will put a nice spoiler warning right here on screen, and I'll also do in the description, but I won't do in the title because I hate it when people overload their titles. We open up with the character played by Toni Collette known as Annie, and her mother had just died, and Annie is now giving a eulogy at her mother's funeral. So from right off the bat, we are already shoved in the face of death. Now, her mother was a very secretive woman. We don't really know much about this character until the latter half of the movie, which I believe is a very good tactic on Mr. Astor's point of view, because I hate it when movies just straight up just like give you everything consecutively throughout the movie, because that's what makes it feel sped up, and that's what makes it so expendable, I should say. And throughout the rest of the movie, we're trying to figure out what big secrets that her mother kept to herself. And you can tell from the very beginning that this woman was not a good person. And if you want more sadness, more shit happens. Nearly 15 minutes into the goddamn movie, we are presented with 2 character deaths. One of those including Toni Collette's mother, the other one, I am not saying. You have to see this fucking movie. And it comes so unexpectedly. So unexpectedly. And holy shit. Shit pickle. Shit on my ass. This is definitely one of those movies when you think it can't get any worse, then suddenly it gets fucking worse. What's worse? And as I said before, this isn't a horror movie that is very typical that we see in today, such as, like, for example, the Conjuring universe, or the Insidious movies, or Saw, or any of those big budget, easily made horror movies that have cheap scares and just blood and gore can make. This is scary in a way because it touches on subjects that everyday people get to experience, get to feel, get to live through, have them get cut down in their prime. It's very real. In a sense, it's real. There is still a heavy amount of fiction in this movie. Now, because this movie is so original and so unique, It's very hard to describe if you want me to describe it in such a likeness with another movie. Often it's been compared so far with The Exorcist. I happen to disagree. To me, it's more like if Rosemary's Baby downed a whole bottle of tequila and then popped a few shrooms and decided to go out in the middle of the woods. Yes, this movie's very special, and it's a shame that some people can't realize how unique it is. This is one of those movies that requires an actual IQ and an actual thought process and a basic understanding of human emotion for you to understand the many layers and symbolism of this movie. And that's why I hate it when I'm on my Facebook groups, or when I'm on movie critic websites, or I'm reading articles, and the person who is writing this, or posting it, or doing whatever they want with it, says the movie sucks and is slow. First of all, you suck and you're slow. You're really slow. Because this movie has such deep tension, such agonizing tension, that it requires a very slow build-up for it. Because if you were exposed to everything that has been kept as a secret in this movie, you would have nothing else to do with this movie, and it would all hit you too hard and you would not understand what's happening. But even then, to a degree, even watching the whole almost 2.5 hours of this movie, there are still some things I don't understand. There are still also some things I still think about, trying to think, hey, is this preferred as symbolism in the movie, or is this just this? But then you realize, well, this is just this, and what does this do in the future? And then you just end up just breaking your mind. I think real, true, down-to-earth horror movie fans will understand and will like this movie and will eventually shed the necessary light upon this film that it deserves. Am I saying the fans that don't like this movie are stupid? Yes, I am. I bet you fucking $1.50 that the people who say this movie suck are big fans of Cabin in the Woods, Saw, the Final Destination movies, and Rob Zombie's remakes of the Halloween movies. You know, movies that actually really do suck and have everything handed to you because your IQ is so small that you can't even form a simple thought process and try to understand symbolism, grief, sadness, depression, all sorts of these dark themes. But no, what they want to see is titty, that titty getting opened up by a fucking chainsaw, and then more titty, and then screaming. They like shitty movies. They do. They like shitty movies. That's them. They like shitty movies. I'm not sorry for saying that. Ooh. Now, let's start with the acting in this movie. I'm going to start it from my least favorite to my very favorite. So starting off with my least favorite performance in this movie, I have to say, goes to Gabriel Byrne. His character has to be the most dull and sensitive character who cannot portray any feeling other than just anger towards Toni Collette. I don't know if his character was supposed to be that stale. If that's the case, bravo, Gabriel Byrne. You are you're the saltine of Hereditary. Not saying any of the acting in this movie is bad, but within every movie there is going to be the one actor who falls behind, and that just happens to be Gabriel Byrne. He was still great. He was still awesome. Don't get that wrong. He was just incredibly stale. Following Gabriel Byrne with a much better acting is Alex Wolff with 2 Fs. I had a lot of issues when it came to his character, but I think that's just because he plays a high school character, and usually when you're a teenager, things are often confusing and don't make any sense. There's one scene where a certain character dies, and the way he reacts to that character's death is very different. I understand that when something traumatic happens to you, your body goes into shock, but the way his character went into shock was just staring in front of the windshield, driving home, and then going to bed. I'm sure that was in the script, but the way he portrayed it was very interesting. That's pretty much the only nitpick I have with Alex Wolff, acting-wise, because other than that, I think he did really well, especially in some scenes where he had to go through very high amounts of stress as the character. He portrayed really well, minus that one part. But that could just be me nitpicking a little bit. My third favorite actor in this movie is the newcomer Millie Shapiro. Now this is Millie's very first movie, and if you look at her IMDb page, you see there's only one credit for a musical and then this movie. Now the way Millie acts in this movie, you would not even understand that this is her very first film debut, because holy shit, she plays her character of Charlie so well, and as the movie progresses, you understand the character of Charlie a lot more, and just, it's great. She's probably the most memorable character in this movie. And last but not least, we end with my favorite acting performance with Toni Collette. Holy shit, this woman has to go through so much in order to get every single emotion correct with this movie, and it is amazing. She goes through every single stage of grief and then some. She takes this shit and then she just runs with it. She runs with this bitch. Oh my god. Toni Collette probably has to be the most underrated scream queen ever! I love you, Toni. Please love me back. Now, there is another character in this movie, but she plays a very sort of minor role in this. I was going to put her on the list, but I decided not to because she kind of disappears after a while, and then she comes back, and then she disappears again. So I don't necessarily count her as the top 4 main characters, but she did well. Once you see the movie, if you've already seen the movie, you probably understand who that is. It's Toni Collette's new friend. In closing, I personally think this movie is way ahead of its time. It touches on so many subjects that everyone is dealing with today. If you're a smart human being or think you're a smart human being, I definitely suggest seeing this because you'll be blown away. If you like very knockoff movies, B movies, shitty remakes by heavy metal band vocalists, you're not going to like this because nothing is handed to you in the movie. You actually have to think, and then you actually have to come to a realization that, hey, this movie provides a lot. And anytime you think of a new layer, there's going to be another layer, and then another layer, and another layer. This movie is one giant emotional onion. And since I'm now going to try to do movie reviews more often, I'm going to try to do a new system based on grades, because every movie critic here on YouTube has to have some sort of grading system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a rank 1 to 5, and here we go. I give Hereditary a full-on 5 because this movie is amazing and very unique in its own way. So, I give this movie a full 5. A full fucking 5. Yes, 5 paints on foreheads. Yep, there we go. As usual, guys, thank you very much for watching this new episode of Horror Geek. Don't forget to click subscribe, comment, like, share, smoke, drink, do whatever you want with this video. And I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you guys soon with hopefully another review of some sort of movie anytime soon. If there's a specific movie you'd like me to review, comment below and see if I can somehow make that possible for you. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great day.